Hey, it's me, Patrice. So I just got back from a walk and I just had this just some really cool realizations. Been thinking all weekend. I was inspired by my amazing friend Dom, who's a spiritual leader and healer, um, that I need to be doing something different, that my calling's bigger, my calling's more powerful, and it kind of incorporates all the things that I've wanted to do and have been doing. It's funny as you look back when you realize like what your purpose is and you go, oh my God, I've been doing what I needed to prepare for this for a long time. Anyway, so I guess kind of my calling is really to start an Empress school, and it's February 1st of 2023. So we'll see if I end up making it or how long it took, because that's today. Anyway, so in doing this, I was thinking of the tarot and the characteristics of each tarot and what that needs to be. So I'm a woman in this body, in this life. And so my purpose is to master my femininity. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have had this body, or I may have been called to change, which I'm not really sure what's going on, and why we've chosen to be born in one gender and switch to another. I'm sure there's some wonderful lessons in there. So definitely respect that. Don't quite understand everything, but love. I have actually a lot of people that I really love and care about that chose to be put into different gender bodies. Anyway, I'm in a female body, so I might also feel called to identify as female as well. So to be the Empress, that's what I want to be. I want to be the Empress, and I want to be the Hermit. I just heard something about the Hermit, which was really powerful as well. My soul's the Hermit, and my body here, I'm meant to embody the Empress. So here's how it works. I am the Queen of Swords, right? The Empress embodies all four queens. So I want to be the Queen of Swords. This is the one that's been the most challenging for me, keeping myself protected, saying things that might hurt someone's feelings, worried about their feelings over my own was a pattern for a very long time. And what the aha was, by the way, for me, I should have said this before, my aha was that I get to do the things that my choices get to be whatever's best for the collective, for everyone in the world, and the ones that bring me the most benefit. Somehow I'd missed that part. I was in judgment of people having anything that benefited themselves. So my whole life I've been really struggling with some of those things, and it's caused me to make a lot of decisions and give up a lot of power to things that put me out. Anyway, so Queen of Swords was my biggest challenge. So this is the one I started with first. And I need to embody the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords asks questions. She's very discerning. She doesn't suffer fools gladly. She has a lot of love, of course, and compassion, but she won't take any bull crap. So she asks the questions that need to be asked. She trusts herself over anyone else, and she's protected. Here's the fun part, is she's protected by the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is her divine masculine. And so when she's letting the King of Swords energetically take care of her, he is protecting her. So he moves quick. He's not going to tolerate anything, and he is her protector. So she has a great king that's taking care of her. So some stuff she lets go. So how does the King of Swords do this? He controls the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords always goes out, and he has one direct thing to say. So the way that I see it is, and he's also very fast. So what that means to me when they're sending out a fast Knight is that he's sent out the minute that anything comes out to prevent any problems. Because he's so fast, he probably goes far. So when he says the things that are proper, then I think he can stop any problems later. So he can handle the problems that swords require very far away from the kingdom, right? So very far away from the castle. So in other words, I'm not ever threatened. The Knight of Swords is sent far away to say what needs to be said, so that I'm never threatened in my castle, because the Queen of Swords is in her castle, right? So she uses her words, but she's protected, right? So that kind of felt really good. So then I thought, well, that's the case. Like, what would the other things be? Okay, the Queen of Wands, I can embody her. She's my high eye. For those of you that know the disc, so she's my high eye. So probably the high D would be the King of Swords, ironically. Anyway, so I'm a ID. I've been working to be a D. Anyway. Sorry, I digress. It's my fun ADHD, and this is what helps me to be creative and have a great imagination. It also causes me sometimes to lose people in conversation. So, all right, people, we're back. Queen of Wands, here we go. So the Queen of Wands, she is all about what glitters is gold. She's all about owning a room, very powerful, very sensual, very sexual, a lot of that life force energy. So if she lights up a room, it's very easy to like her. It's very easy for her to get attention. You just kind of can't look away. But also it can be fake. She is always showing happy when she's not happy. So, people that suffer, people that you see someone that all of a sudden committed suicide, you're like, what? I don't understand how that happened. That may be someone who's embodying the wands, right? They're always having to show happy. They're always having to believe that even if there's deep pain. So that's tricky. They can be really lying to themselves. I was that for a very, very long time. Thank you, Dark Night of the Soul. So here we are, Queen of Wands, right? I own a room. It's my job to be big. It's my job to get attention. That was put in me for a reason. By the way, our society tells us that's bad. It's not bad. That's not bad unless you're using it for something that brings everyone's negativity down. It's a wonderful, powerful gift, and it's so important, especially if you consider yourself a light worker or a healer or someone who's trying to make this world a better place. We need the biggest podium possible. This Queen of Wands is such an important part for women. We've been programmed to hear that this is a bad thing. And because of that negativity, it's very confusing, which is why it's fake. It doesn't have to be fake. It doesn't have to be fake. Society is what makes it up with fakeness. It's power. It's owning a room. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy it, embrace it, and model it so other people can learn to love themselves and celebrate themselves too. This is so flippin' important. This is like this is probably, for those of you that feel that call, if you're similar to this, you need to get out there and you need to raise your voice and you need to speak about things that you're passionate about, things that can make this world a better place. You have been given that gift. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with this gift, and our world has held us back. If you think about history, right? They didn't want voices. They certainly didn't want female voices. We've had a very masculine world for a long time. It was all about war. To be honest, it's kind of funny. I actually realized after watching this movie, Samadhi, that our society for thousands of years, we've been cultivated to be warriors. Think about it. Years and years ago, before writing, people would share their stories. So we would have a mix of all different tribes and all different cultures. What ultimately happened is some powerful cultures became more powerful and they took the other one. We've been seeing this. For our whole life, people have been taking over other cultures and erasing their history, really, right? The ones who win get to tell the story. Then we got into publication. You guys, who's in charge of publication from the start? It was only the scholars, which were usually priests, right? Those were funded by the government back then, right? So at the beginning, we were being controlled partly so that we would have moral behavior. I'm sure there was a really good reason for a lot of it. However, there was also a lot of corruption, right? So the two of the least trusted organizations are the ones that began printing in the first place. What that means is everything that's ever been written, there's a very good likelihood that there was an agenda. The oldest texts have some agenda. There's going to be a lot of truth and a little bit of BS, or a lot of BS and a little bit of truth. To everything you read, we should all really be thoughtful, trust ourselves just as much, right? Everyone who printed something that cost money to do, it took effort. They did that for a reason. Then guess what? Guess who took over? Media. That's the next one that we hear. You guys, we don't trust the media at all. We know that they're slighted. They have a benefit to every tragedy. A tragedy benefits them. Wouldn't that mean, we joke all the time and say that all they do is propagate negativity, but it is actually smart for their business to propagate negativity. They run in that business. If they didn't, then people wouldn't. Fear sells. We say that all the time. Fear and sex sells, right? Why are we surprised when those are the things that we see the most, that we feel the most negative things that happen from, right? Of course, they're suppressing the good things that can happen because, again, for every bad, there's also a good. But just take that sorry, I totally digressed there, right? So own your power, people. We need more people speaking up. You've been given this gift because you know how to own a room. You can change the energy of a room. And remember, it's energy, not circumstance. When we're out there, we don't want to be yapping. We want to be showing people and modeling what happiness, what success looks like, what that passion that you have that is so rare. You guys, this is like the fountain of youth a little bit. This is that energy. You know what I'm talking about if you have this, because you light up a room and everyone tells you, and it's intoxicating and it feels really good. Then you go back home and you miss that feeling. You want to get into that That's because you're supposed to be in that more. Stay in that. You're supposed to be doing that. The stuff that feels good is what your soul wants you to do. Just we want to mix that with a positive message, something that raises vibration versus something that brings it down. So we don't want to be focusing on making people jealous or those things. We want to be empowering people. And then you get to use your gifts all the time. And you know what it feels like? It feels like candy. It's like being high on life constantly. And by the way, this is contagious. So it's our responsibility to get out there and bubble the F out. Be like the most effervescent you that you can be. And teach people that you can do it and embrace it. And who cares if someone's a hater? That's their deal. They're either going to get jealous and angry and then they take an action that'll eventually get them somewhere, right? Of even hitting rock bottom's a blessing, you guys. That's how you get back up. Or they go, wow, if so-and-so can do that, maybe I could. You know, I've had this calling inside of me and I never had the courage. But when I see her doing it and embracing it, and she makes me feel so good, gosh, and she encouraged me. She said the best thing. If she believes in me, maybe I should too, right? Isn't that a world that we want? Okay, Queen of Wands. Obviously, I'm quite passionate about her. We've had a lot of fun and her a lot, and I'm going to embrace her more and more every day. Okay, the King of Wands. So he is my second favorite energy reader calls him the King of the Burger King. That means he has to have it his way. That's annoying if you're like, oh God, if he's hanging out and you're trying to go to dinner and you want different food, you don't want the Burger King. But when you're talking about a divine masculine and energy that protects you, you want him to always have it his way. He's the highest soul up there, right? If he's your soul partner, he's up there. He wants the best for you. It's his job to protect you. That means when you hear that voice, you let him protect you and you follow it. You follow that protection. And so what does the King of Wands do? He's sitting in the castle too with you. So he sends the Knight of Wands out. So that's bold, impetuous action. Steve says, fortune favors the brave and the bold. It also, when you're brave and bold, people back off from that. Anybody that feels that energy, we're talking about energy. You are radiating it. Your negative energy is going to be too afraid to come to you because you're radiating with such confidence. And a big part of my spiritual journey is to do things that took courage. Little things. My first one was like wear a bikini top to the coffee shop in Hawaii. The whole world is going around in bikini tops. And to be honest, I look damn good. I love showing off my body. But there's that thing in me that was holding me back. So my first act of courage, actually, I guess, was to let my little Queen of Wands out on the streets of Hawaii. By the way, I did end up falling into the eyes of a beautiful man for a little while. But sorry. Welcome to Queen of Wands energy, by the way. Anything can happen. It really is completely out of the magical. But that bold, impulsive action. So again, the Knight of Wands goes out. He goes out fast. That means you're protecting yourself by always going out and doing your part. Obviously, again, making sure you do it with a positive vibration. As long as you know you're raising that vibration of everybody in the room, you guys, that's right, when you feel it in your heart. Cool, right? Okay, next we're going to do the Queen of Hearts. And for those of you that know me and love me and find me incredibly vulnerable, and now I realize that's my strength, I've been like a closet Queen of Hearts my whole life. I've always been like the most, when I look back, the most vulnerable, the most loving, the most, oh goodness. You know, I would hide from that because I was truly in judgment. Something happened along the way because I was such a natural Queen of Hearts, which is probably your high S's, right? All of you sensitive people, 65% of the world is high S's. I used to think of that as a bad thing, like, oh God, they're all sensitive and they're going to want me to tell them what to do. Yeah, because I had the big energy in the room. But really, it's because they want someone to care for them, right? So that's me. Holy crap. I also heard something that when someone fights the positivity and God more than anyone, it's because they need it the most. So looking back, that was me. I was like the most loving lover ever. All I wanted was love and sunshine and kindness. I still do. It's just that somewhere along the way, I wanted it so bad and I didn't get it for romance or whatever, that I got embarrassed by it. And I got into judgment of what that looked like, what I thought loving people looked like. Probably because I was hurt all the time. It's hard when you're the Queen of Hearts. You get hurt a lot. People burn your fingers. They burn everything. And you just keep coming back for more. I'm like, I used to say it, it's worth getting my fingers burned. And I believe it's true. But I also believed that I know it's true now as an adult. When I was a child, I bet it hurt a lot more than just getting my fingers burned. I bet I've put a lot of calluses on me. And so that's what my life was. I was a queen of hearts to the core. Oh my God, I love getting this one out now. Vulnerable, fearless with my love. I didn't care. I can say this honestly, I can literally feel God's love bubbling up. I feel like I'm a spring of God's love. This is ever since the Rebirth Festival that Indubious put on. Woo woo. At the 11/11 portal, 11/11 and 11/12. Wow, amazing. That's the first time I physically felt the energy of God bubbling up. And I realized that when I let it come, it's my job to give it out. All of us, by the way. I'm nothing special. God's love can come up from, I guess it doesn't matter which way it comes. From me, I feel it coming up from above. The effervescence, and I know it's my job, like a champagne fountain or whatever you call it, pyramid, just to trickle all that down, just to kind of let it come, because the more I give it, the faster it comes. It's beautiful. That's my Queen of Hearts. Isn't that awesome? King of Hearts protects her, right? She has a divine masculine, a part of her that is not going to let any shit happen to her, because it's his job to protect her. That's how it goes, right? That's why we have two sides. The King of Hearts doesn't give too much love. We talk about it all the time, is that he is stingy with the cups. Now I get it. It's a pain in the neck when you might be in a love relationship with someone who isn't showing you, like, I need you to give me more love. But in our case, the King of Cups, he doesn't let us give out too much of our love. We need to embody that of him. It's his job to question everybody that we do, okay? So we don't let anyone get too close to our castle. And he does that by sending out the Knight of Love, the Knight of Cups. And he has a lot of love. He's really pure. He's genuine, gentle. It's someone you'd really want to be friends with. It's always a really lovely card. So this is really nice. Again, remember, the knights go far away from the castle. They're not in there. They're out on their trusty steeds. So that you go out and you give your love. You go out and you give your love. For me, I realize that net positive is, I think that's my mission, is to find people that are in pain and help to get them to net positive. Because once they're in that direction, they can potentially go somewhere, right? And they can kind of do the most good. We'll see what else comes up. But so for that Knight of Cups, so keep giving your love. Go give your love. But don't let someone come into your castle and demand your love. And be careful when the Queen of Cups gives. Once you let someone into your castle, you fucking squirt that shit all over them. Holy crap, do I overlove. Goodness. And I really can honestly say, trust me, it's been a comedy show. I can honestly say that I will give. I'm okay with not getting it back, because I love to give. Oh, my love. Scratching backs, and I love being kind. Gosh, especially if you're in my castle, I feel like it's my responsibility to host you. I'm a proper ass queen, right? Gotta make sure that everybody knows I've got them covered. But my King of Hearts is like, bitch, stop letting everyone come and stay over. They're eating us out of house and home. This is ridiculous. They keep taking and then they leave. That's just what happens, right? You're letting the wrong people in. So we're going to only let the love go out via Knight of Cups. So go away, and then we come back and we protect our sanctuary. And I'm not sure if the universe is going to give me material. I know I will get one, actually, but you don't have to officially say, not sure, and I'm okay with. I'm totally okay and unattached with not having King of Cups here, right? Because I can feel that energy all around me. And I know that it's protecting me. And it's my job as the Queen of Love. Gosh, you know how powerful this is? Remember I talked how powerful, they're all powerful, of course. The Queen of Swords is protecting me. The Queen of Wands is getting that attention. This Queen of Hearts is giving out the love. This is God's work. This is what we're all meant to do. Love one another. Jesus said it massive steps in my whole life. The only thing we need to do is love others as we would have them love us. And I don't mean how our 3D shitty brains would have them love us, but how our 5D souls love others from your soul, the way that your soul wants to be loved, the way that you wanted to be loved when you were a child, the way that you wanted to be loved when you imagined what the best life would be for yourself, way before we added on all the crap that goes on us. It's like, for me, it looks like coal that gets outside. You know how lava's flowing and it's beautiful, and then the lava turns hard, right? It's kind of what I see, that but the lava's still in there. We got to let that shit flow, you guys. Oh, maybe that's why. By the way, I did want to be a volcanologist when we're talking about all of this crazy stuff that I'm just realizing. I'm a verbal processor. Anyway, back to the story. So here we are. We've got the love coming up. That's like lava, and it cracks through all that hard lava. It all just goes. That's our job. But we also have to make sure that we're real careful to not let people in, right? We got that moat out because someone can damage that little well and hurt us from inside. So the Knight of Cups delivers. Yay! And last but not least, Pentacles. So I was doing that for a while until my Queen of Wands escaped and just wanted to love the world. By the way, they don't pay real well for loving the world. Well, the oldest profession, but I didn't really consider it. But for a minute, I was like, I would be, oh my God, you guys, I'd be so good at that if that was Olympics. Sorry. I digress. That's Queen of Wands a little bit. Actually, that's all the queens. Anyway, Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the most independent queen. She's successful. She has her own money. Nobody's going to tell that bitch what to do, right? Lots of us. There's so many of us rising up. That girl power thing, at least financially, I think for a very long time, we all got into this, which is easy to kind of lead with that masculine side. So for those of us that have had to represent, you know, single moms, maybe coming from a family that didn't have means and you decided you wanted more, that shit was all on you, right? You had to rise the fuck up, turn into something. So our Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles is powerful. She's independent and she gets shit done so that she has her security, right? But wait, girls, we've been living in this shitty 3D universe where the guys are not exactly keen on giving to us. And if so, there are so many strings and ties that our society, again, was programmed. Remember, there was programming by church and government. They wanted the bitches to have to hold on to a man, right? So we have been stuck in there for a long time. And then the pendulum swings wide. So then we were over the top. We didn't want any help. No, thank you. We got this covered. You know how hard we had to fight for this, right? We went over to the extreme. So we went from no power, no masculine was allowed to, oh my God, we're way too masculine. Now it's time for us to kind of get back in the middle. So let's empower the Queen of Pentacles, which is independence, stability. She knows her fucking worth, right? She's valuable. Her time is valuable. Her knowledge is valuable. Her love is valuable. That attention that you get for owning a room, you fucking pay for that. That's inner goddamn tainment. Have a good time and you are welcome. All of that is valuable. The Queen of Pentacles knows that shit. She takes care of us, right? We need to make sure that she is owning the bank. She knows our fucking worth and she knows what we get. I just said earlier in the video, I just realized that it's not just my job to do the best for everybody. It's my job to do the best for everybody that benefits me the most. When I'm talking from my soul, it's what benefits my soul. It's the one that's going to elevate me and get me to elevate the most, which means I'm going to give the most to mankind. So when I do it for me, not from a martyr, for everyone else, not from a martyr standpoint. I was that before. Don't do that anymore. No more martyring. Find the best for everyone and you. That way it's a consistent stream. Oh my God, literally the spiral, right? God's love and all of this goodness will spiral. So how do we do that? How do we give it up? We trust that there is a divine masculine energy around us. And our divine masculine will protect us. He is the most stable king. He's always there. It's all about family for these guys. The 10 of Pentacles is the highest form of love because it comes with stability. The 10 of Cups is fantasy love, right? Again, that's why you kind of get caught in that. I'm everybody's fantasy girl, but they can't quite give me responsibility. That's the Queen of Hearts. This is the Queen of Pentacles, right? King of Pentacles. This is all about stability. I can commit to you too. I don't just want your love. I don't just want to give you love. I want to give you love and commitment. I want to do the work that it takes to go in. Right? I want to master those pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is mastery, right? I want to be a self-master. I want to understand from my soul. So the King of Pentacles keeps us fucking safe. He is amazing and powerful and strong, and he's going to use the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this guy is slow. So for those of us that have gone through struggles with money, we understand how this works, right? You're like, why is it taking so long? I thought it was instant manifestation. Well, Pentacles, money is slow, right? That stability doesn't come from a magic wand. That's not how it goes, right? Not the King of Wands. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Anyway, there's not a magic pentacle. The Pentacles is one fucking step in front of the other. So the Knight of Pentacles does what needs to be done. He makes the choices and he's very slow, but he always gets to where he's going. And so what it is, I think of that as compound interest, right? It works for money. It works for everything. Think about the spiral of the shell. Everything is always, when you're staying in that same direction, it just goes farther. So what we have to do is keep our energy, our mindset, our business, our consistent effort, everything. If we are going in that direction, we have no choice but to hit success. It's just that it happens one moment at a time. I think that's part of why we want such a big, far away kind of a goal, the bigger it is, because I think you prepare the spiral even bigger. You take bigger steps. So the faster it is, because he's fucking slow as hell. So if you want to ever get somewhere, you better fucking have it shooting out in space, because this mofo is slow, but he gets there. So you have to trust in that. You have to trust that every day you're making progress, even when you don't see it. You don't see a fucking seashell grow. I don't even see on internet where they're like, hey, here's a time warp of a seashell growing. They do it with flowers and plants, and we think those take a long ass time. We're talking about changing your inner core, right? Changing our evolution of who we are as a person. So we need to shoot it fucking wide, because it's slow, and we have to have faith and trust. And thankfully, the universe, God, has put all of these signs. We see it happen with nature. What do we think we are? Actually, the stupid thing is, for humans, we've been like thinking we're these special ass beings. No, we're fucking made of nature. We're as combustible and compostable as everything else, right? We're made of nature. That means it's the same biology. So we have to take it fucking slowly, just like every fucking thing else. We have to trust that it's happening, right? It just says, what if a seed every day was like, how about now? How about now? How about now? Shut up. This is they probably did. That's probably, it took so long. That's why they don't talk. Because they would just be asking, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Oh my God. I had to do that to my parents. Annoying. And by the way, it doesn't get you there any faster. It just makes your parents, i.e. the universe, more irritable with you. You want to pick at me? I'm going to fucking pick back. It's going to feel like it's longer because you're asking yourself. So do not energetically ask how fast the fucking night's going. Slow. As slow as you can imagine. Slow as it needs to be. Until you get faith, it's not going to fucking, he probably isn't even going to start walking. Sometimes I see them sitting down having a smoke break. What the fuck? Get moving. He's not going to get moving unless you get moving. But we have that same energy, right? You're sitting on your ass. Guess what he's doing? Sitting on his ass. If you're moving, guess what he's doing? He's moving. You power all these mofos, right? They're not just fairies. Okay, so that's it. So that's the trick. So to be the Empress, by the way, most wonderful tits in the tarot, as my energy friend Steve says, if we want to embody that, we want to have all that power, that magnetism, right? She's the one who's always pregnant. That means she can manifest. Everything's always happening for the Empress. Everybody loves the Empress. The Empress loves. She's divine. You want to be that Empress? You just have to master the 4 queens. Easy enough, right? And fun. Okay, well, that's been a day. Bye, everyone. I forgot what I said I was going to do with. Oh, Empress School. So yeah, here's the start of my Empress School. What do you think?